DT fam, this vanilla sundae is going to be as you requested on the pets. So Nikki here has volunteered to assist me in gathering the floofers. We're going to start with each pet age, sign, and some fun facts. To begin with, as you can see, Marie is kind of camera shy. Marie is our only black cat. She is biological sister to Kashmir, who you'll meet later. Mawiwi was born in 2018? 2019? 2017? No. Yeah, 2017. Are you sure? It was before I moved to California. Okay, so she was born in 2017. She is a Pisces. Her name is Marie. We also call her Mawiwi. What else do we call her? Wakanda.
God's gift to mankind.
God's gift to mankind is another one that we call her. She fights with Greywind a lot. She loves to talk and chirp to you. So if she meows at you, you are expected to meow back as a guest. We tell that to anyone who comes to our home.
Marie and I hold entire conversations. I don't know if anyone else talks to their cat, but when she meows at me, I meow back.
Fun fact about Marie. One time when Nikki moved to California, she rented a studio apartment just for the cats. And actually, it was just for Marie and Kashmir. There was actually like zero furniture in this apartment.
There was a cat tree, a bean bag for the cats to lay on their food and water bowls. And yeah, just 2 cats lived in a 2-bedroom. It's not a studio. It was a 2-bedroom apartment
in Burbank.
In Burbank, California. Yeah.
I actually felt bad for them, because like they were, granted it was temporary. How long was that?
It was temporary. It was only for 3 months. It was a month-to-month lease, 3 months. Basically, at the time, with my roommate that I was living with, she was allergic to cats, but Cammie wouldn't.
I watched them as long as I could, and then my ex-fiance was like, we can't keep watching all of these cats. So I had to.
So I flew back to California with Marie here in Kashmir. And I rented that little apartment for them. It wasn't even that little. It was actually decent sized. I rented that apartment to them. And it was right down the road from where I lived with my roommate. And she had like furniture and everything. I didn't have any furniture with me. So the cats stayed there. I would go check on them. I would like hang out during the day.
Okay, let Marie go. The camera, they have seen, if you're watching on YouTube, they have seen Moebi.
She's all black. She's an American short hair.
Marie is the cat that I'm like most allergic to.
Sure,
like I'm not allergic to Tiesto or Greywind, but I am allergic to Kashmir and Marie. Marie being the most.
So fine. It's like so fluffy.
She will make me break out in hives if she like comes near my face too much.
I'm already starting to feel itchy from.
Yeah, but I'm feeling itchy just from petting her.
I love her to death. She's my little Mawiwi. And wait, I had another fun fact. I have bottle fed that cat since she was 7 days old.
Yep.
So
Mama,
when she was this big when I got her. She literally fit in the palm of my hand. So basically I volunteered for a rescue organization in Kansas called Wichita Animal Action League WAL. And I still donate to them every month. I have been for years. Anyways, whenever they were like, hey, we need a foster, I went to go pick up Marie and Kashmir and then their siblings who were adopted out. And yeah, they were 7 days old. I had to like learn how to bottle feed them. Basically, their mother was like so distraught in the shelter that like she wasn't producing any milk. So the babies weren't drinking and growing. So I cried the entire way home, taking them away from their mother because I felt so fucking bad, but they were so tiny and skinny from like not eating, and I fattened them right up. And as you can see, she is a healthy, chunky
girl. Yep. Moving on. Let's grab Greywind.
Speaking of healthy.
Yeah, speaking of healthy chunks. This is Greywind. He's mine. When Greywind was born, he only had one little drop testicle, so we thought he was a girl. So he was first named Duchess. But then on the day that I went to go get him fixed, they're like, oh, wow, okay, Duchess is a boy. I was like, well, what the fuck am I going to name him now? At the time, of course, I had a big stint with, I loved Game of Thrones. And my dog is named Jon Snow. So naturally, I named Greywind after one of the dire wolves. And his middle name is Davos, which is also a name from, Sir Davos in Game of Thrones. Fun fact about Greywind, when he gets really pissed off at us for traveling, he will go and shit on my bathroom rug or pee in it because he knows that bothers me. He's also being a little camera shy right now.
He's a Himalayan sea boy.
He is actually, I want to say he's a Himalayan, but I actually think he's a ragdoll because Himalayans have a really weird looking face. I think he's a seal point ragdoll now that I think about it. He is a beautiful cat. He has a perfect cool tone blonde. He's got a nice smoky quartz color for his points. He's very chunky, very fat. His bonded pair was a snowshoe that looked a lot like her. Her name was Sansa. She was one of my old cats, who still lives happily in Kansas. I was very sad that I had to separate them. He is also a Pisces, born around the same time as Marie. So around the day that Nicole went to go get Marie in Kashmir to bottle feed, another mom had a bunch of kittens, and she also wasn't doing well. So we had to pull the kitten. Oh, she passed away. Oh, that's really fucking sad. Oh, never mind. The mom passed away, got ran over. That's really sad. I'm so sorry, Greywind. Anyways, but he has two siblings that look identical to him. Each litter was kind of big, but we only took 3. So he has 2 brothers that look exactly like him. One of my ex-coworkers' best friend adopted his brothers. And one time I saw a picture and I was like, from my coworker, and I was like, oh wow, that looks exactly like my cat. And she was like, yeah, she rescued them from Wall around this time. And I was like, that's so funny. That's when I rescued mine from Wall. Anyways, so long story short, I met his siblings' owner's best friend. Some other things about Greywind. He loves ice cream. Yep, he's a Pisces. He loves ice cream. In my old apartment, he used to put his paw under the door, and when I would close it and go da, 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 like shake it back and forth until I would open the door for him. He's a very smart cat. He loves cuddles. When I used to rescue a ton of for Wall, Wichita Animal Action League in Kansas, I was a foster there for 4 years. I always fostered kittens, and Greywind loved being like their makeshift father, temporary father, if you will.
Wrap it up. He's not.
Yeah, he loved being a foster dad too. So Greywind is a big fan of kitties. Next, we're going to talk about Kashmir. We're going to do this quick. So here's YouTube. Or here he is for the YouTube folks. We're going to do this quick because Kashmir is our feistiest cat. Kashmir is Marie's biological brother, also a Pisces, born 2017, kind of a dick. I'm not going to lie. I hate him. I'm kidding. I don't hate him, but he's my least favorite cat. He has the cutest little black toe amongst all white paws. He is a thick boy. He's not chunky, but he is a big cat.
He's also a huge mama's boy.
He is.
This cat spoons me every morning.
I will say
we have a little ritual. So he cuddles. Marie sleeps to my left. Kashmir sleeps to my right. He usually sleeps by my feet or at my side. And then in the mornings when I'm waking up and he sees that I'm awake, he crawls into like the crook of my arm, like by my armpit, faces his back to me, and then I turn and spoon him, and then he lays his head on my arm. And that is what we do every morning. And at some point in that span of time, he flips his head back and bites my nostril. So I get a morning nose piercing from this cat every day.
When Nikki is out of town, Kashmir loves to come to my bed to see if I'm awake. Typically that causes a fight because Greywind is usually there. Greywind and Tiesto sleep on my bed. Kashmir and Marie sleep on Nicole's bed. Kashmir, if you can hear him.
Yeah.
Just kidding. I guess he doesn't want to meow.
Oh, wait. Wait, I have the best story about Kashmir.
Anyways, Kashmir has the pansiest sounding meow.
Okay, don't say that about him. Poor guy. It's a rather feminine meow. Okay. It's got a high pitch to it. It's a little feminine. But let me tell you all my favorite story about Kashmir. So,
make it quick because this one's next.
I know. Oh, he'll be fine. He's like the chillest one out of all of them. So, at my old job, I worked from home. And that was, I had the luxury of working from home. It was great. The headquarters was in Wichita, so they were 2 hours ahead, and they had a 9 a.m. meeting every Monday. And like once a quarter, that meeting was like our all hands, like the entire sales organization would get together, and our senior vice president would, talk about like how the quarter went while we all listened in. And this was like a sales staff of roughly like 100 people. And this was via Zoom. Because everyone worked remote. And so, yeah, this happened at 7 a.m. for me. So I hope my boss never listens to this. Anyways, my old boss, I don't work there anymore. So I wake up. I sleep in the nude, FYI. I wake up. I log on to my work phone, log on to this Zoom call, turn my camera off because it's just the senior vice president talking. No one else is talking. I lay my phone to the left of my pillow facing the ceiling, and then I just like lay there and listen. Sometimes I'll go on my like personal phone and like peruse through social media, but most of the time I was just like listening to whatever was going on. I don't need to see what's going on because he's just talking.
Nicole, land your plane.
Anyways, half the time it was just numbers, whatever. So screen is facing upward. I'm not on that phone whatsoever. And Kashmir comes to cuddle with me, as he does every morning. So he's like kind of, just around this area, whatever. Eventually he lays down, whatever. I don't think anything of it. By the time this call is wrapping up, I go to grab my work phone. People are like leaving now, so because the call has ended. I go to grab my work phone and I see that I have like 3 missed calls, 7 emails, and multiple text messages. And I'm like, what the fuck happened? Turns out
Kashmir is spelled Kshmr, just by the way, like the DJ.
Yeah, he's named after a DJ. Turns out Kashmir turned my camera on. So the entire sales organization saw just the senior VP and my cat right next to him. And that went on for like over half the call. And it would just be like Kashmir's head. You just see his head like peering out in and out of the frame. My white ceiling, his ears, his face, whatever. Dude, yeah, like and my senior vice president literally acts like nothing is happening. He does not even acknowledge the cat. Doesn't say a word. He just keeps going through the numbers, and he sees him. Like, because he sees what everyone else sees on the screen. So he sees that my cat is right there. I'm fucking mortified. Those 3 missed calls were from my boss, the vice president. Okay. And I get so many emails that are like, cute cat, hey, your camera's on. I think your cat turned your camera on. And then when I go to check the text messages, it's the same fucking thing. Because like, obviously all my coworkers are like, hey, get the fucking cat off the camera. I had no idea. And so afterwards, I apologized to my boss profusely. I was like, hey, I didn't know he turned it on.
But he included it in an email. He was like, and thank you, Kashmir, spelled Kshmr.
Yeah, the next day he was like, thank you, Kashmir, for joining our call.
I thought that was really forward, like
progressive,
fashion forward,
progressive. Yeah. Anyways, so that is how my cat Kashmir basically what's the word? Oh, crashed a Zoom meeting.
Yeah.
Anyways, so that was. I still have the video. My boss took a video of it. Oh, that was Snow. She doesn't get along with some of the cats. Anyway, that my boss took a video of that whole thing, and so I still have that video. Maybe I will. No, I'm not going to share it anywhere. But I do show that video to people, and it is like one of the funniest things. So that. Anyway, be careful around your devices.
Grab the next
and
one.
Your cats.
All right, this is the last feline of the lineup. Tiesto, also named after a DJ. Tiesto is our oldest cat. He's about the same age as Snow. She's 12. Tiesto is a Gemini, which is, I think, why he loves my boyfriend, because my boyfriend's a Gemini, and Tiesto will not leave him alone. I think like calls to like. But he is our chillest cat. As you can see, you've always seen him on the frame. He just pulls up with his paws. He loves sleeping on this couch or on a sunny corner right next to it. He loves the great outdoors. One time I come home, this is the time I was living with Nicole. I come home and like there's a whole search party going on for Tiesto, because apparently like he got out and he went up into the little mountainous area behind Nikki's yard, and Nikki was freaking out. So I just grab a bag of food, of cat food, go outside, shake it. Tiesto comes running back. Everybody's called inside. Crisis averted.
He also loves butter.
Oh yes. Greywind loves ice cream. Tiesto loves butter.
And it's not just a love for butter.
No,
it is an obsession with butter.
He can smell it if it's even just on the pan.
If there is a recipe that calls for butter, it's like he just knows.
He knows.
He's automatically in the kitchen.
It'll be in the wrapper.
Waiting for a sliver of butter to fall. So I feed him some butter every now and then because he fucking loves butter.
He's so cute.
He for 12 years old, he's doing pretty well. He had a lot of teeth taken out. His original name before we adopted him, I got him at PetSmart. His name was Cheese. And then I changed it to Tiesto. I'm trying to keep his health as good as I can because I want him to live a long life with me. But he's a bit of an explorer. He likes to like go outside and like he be a little bit of an indoor-outdoor cat. And so I try to keep him as healthy as I can.
Yep. But yeah. Our little air sign. He and Greywind somewhat get along. Sometimes they might cuddle near each other, maybe like touch a butt or something, but that's it. Next, we're going to get Snowy Bear. So, Snow growls at most people that try to get her up. Okay, right here, Snow. Okay, so, if you're watching on YouTube, there's Snowy Bear. Okay, Nicole, don't hurt her. She has bad hips. Snowy is an Aquarius. I adopted her when I was 19. She will be 12 in end of January, early February. This dog is worth about $20,000 of medical expenses. So she is one of my greatest assets that I own.
Most prized possessions.
She is one of my most prized possessions. It took Snow about 8 years to calm down. Most of the time I'd take her to the vet and they'd be like, how old is she? And I'm like, oh, she's about 8, 9. They're like, are you sure? I'm like, yeah. They're like, she acts like she's 4. I'm like, I know. But yeah, she was a very spirited dog growing up. One time...
No, just move. Just get out of the frame.
Oh, you see her running by there. She is rather fluffy. I take her to get groomed often.
She's a great Pyrenees Husky mix.
She's a great Pyrenees Husky mix. She used to get out and just take off running. One time she went for... This was at Nikki's old house. She took off into a field, and like a little ways away from Nikki's old house, there was a little farm. They had a bunch of like bulls and cows in a pen, and Snow ran right to them and was like barking and, you know, like really excited to see them. And the owner comes out with like a shotgun. And I'm over here in a dress, like I just ran through a field. I got something stuck up my foot, so I was bleeding everywhere. And this guy was like, if you don't get your dog out of here, I'm going to shoot her. This was Kansas, so it was probably legal. And I was scared to death. So of course, I'm like crying, like trying to get her away from the cows. She's just like running around having a merry time. That was like one of her and I's worst moments.
I'll tell you my favorite story of Snow.
Wait, one time I used to have a house, a townhome that like was next to another townhome, so they shared a fence. And she used to crawl under the fence, go through the neighbor's doggy door, and enter their home unannounced. So imagine you're just sleeping and this Great Pyrenees just walks in. There would be a number of times like I'd hear a knock at the door. I'd be like, where's Snow? My roommate like let her out. And I'd be like, where's Snow? And then the neighbor knocks on the door and they're like, here's your dog. I actually had to break and enter into their house one time through the doggy door to go get Snow because she wouldn't come back and they weren't home. So I was terrified. And yeah, I mean, overall, she is a great dog.
She's great with kids.
She's great.
I've never met a dog as good as her with kids.
She is great with kiddos. She's
been
with me through so much, and I love her dearly. And, you know, jokes aside about all the money I've spent on her, I would spend it all over again if it meant I got to keep her forever. So,
I was gonna say one of my favorite memories with Snow is when our little brother was like 2, 3-ish. He had a little toy and he was throwing it to her, and he would like throw it, she would go grab it, and then she would bring it back and just like gingerly place it back in his hands, and he would throw it again, and she would go through all of that. And like when I play fetch with Snow, like she damn near bites my hand off, you know, getting a toy back. But I think she knew that with our little brother, like she had to be gentle, and just like the patience that she had with him, and like handing him the toy and waiting for him to throw it. And like there would be times where he would like hit her in the face or whatever, and she wouldn't do a thing. So she's a great dog with kids.
She does like to lick kids' faces, which they don't like that because she's very slobbery. Like she'll lick our niece and nephew's faces sometimes,
and they're like, ew,
and then they're like, ew.
Another one of my favorite stories with Snow is one time my ex-husband and I were walking her in Kansas in our neighborhood, and I thought I saw a snake on the ground. Could have sworn I saw a snake on the ground. So I dropped her leash because I was like afraid of this snake that was literally like a foot away from my foot. And this was our house backed up to a lake back then, so like there were like water moccasins in there. There were tall grasses. There were some probably rattlesnakes and shit. So I didn't want to get bit by a snake. I dropped her leash. She takes off running into this field, by the field of the guy with the shotgun and the cows.
Yeah.
Anyways, and my ex-husband, pissed off, is like, why did you do that? Now I'm gonna have to go get her. And so it's dark, and they're just like these really tall grasses, and like all you would this is all I heard and saw. It would be like a slight rustle of grass. It'd be like whoosh. And then I'd see my ex-husband's flashlight from his phone just like dun 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 dun. And then you'd hear the whoosh go the other way, like whoosh. And then you'd see his light go the other direction. And that was him chasing Snow back and forth in this field. And it took forever for him to catch her, but he finally did. But like
she finally calmed down.
Just watching the whole thing, it just whoosh, like the light just bouncing up and down across this grass. It was hilarious. I'll never forget it. I don't know if that was a good explanation of it, but if you get the visual, I hope you're laughing as hard as I was. And then he was mad at me for laughing, but I was like, I'm sorry.
It's hilarious.
It was kind of our comical, you know. Anyways,
she is a peach now. She'll still bark at random shit as a Pyrenees does, but she is a peach. I love the way her and my boyfriend get along. But But she's just such a good girl. Snowy, come here, Mama. Hi. Hi. Oh, yeah, you can't really see her very well. Come here. Come here, my love. See, we love attention. We love pets. She likes to go to the dog park just to get pet by people. She hates puppies. Here's our other boy. Last but not least, our youngest.
This is Lobo. This is my baby boy. He is a German Shepherd Husky mix. He is a Leo, 2 years old, born Cancer moon. Born July 25th. His Mars and Uranus are conjunct in the sign of Taurus. So he is a stubborn, volatile little bitch. Okay.
And he really loves his routines. He's just very particular about where he eats, how he eats. You know, he likes to go to the toy box, take out all the toys, and then just leave them.
Yeah, if you look at our floor right now, half of it is just toys that he has just distributed across the floor.
He loves chewing on my pillows, which I hate.
I think of all the pets that have chewed on the worst thing, Marie chewed up my Gucci flip-flops.
Oh, Snow chewed up an entire staircase and couch to oblivion. Like, it was not, you could, the couch was gone. I think Snow did the most damage as a puppy. He really, comparable to Snow, really not that bad.
No. Lobo, we've had since he was roughly 6 weeks old.
Yeah.
He is a really good boy. We love him. We call him Lobo, Lobocito, Choo-Choo, Pachichun, Choo-Choo-Naso.
Little awoo boy, because he goes awoo.
And then he's got his manic bunny mode. That's when he goes crazy. His water bunny mode. That's when he's nervous.
His ears go back.
And then there's another.
He gets nervous.
And then his
post poop zoomies.
His post poop zoomies that
mode.
He gets, because every single time he poops afterwards, he gets the zoomies, and then he's just like,
yeah, he like kicks up a lot of dirt, and then he just wants to play.
He is a German Shepherd Husky mix. He weighs 67 pounds, and yeah. This is our little Lobo.
That reminds me of the time where Snow typically weighs around 70, 80 pounds. And one time I took her to the vet and they're like, she weighs 100. I was like, excuse me. No, I think the scale was just wrong. But yeah,
Lobo is our youngest. He is my baby. He's also a huge mama's boy.
But my room is his safe space. He always has to have a safe space. In our last apartment,
it was his kennel.
In this house or townhouse, whatever you want to call it, it's my bedroom.
Yeah. And honestly, he is a really good dog, but he's just a little finicky in some areas. When Lobo was about a year old, it was when he was almost a year, a little under a year, him and I got hit by a car. I was walking him in Snow. Luckily, the car turned into Lobo and not Snow, because I don't know that Snow would have been able to handle that, like her body. But basically the car hit Lobo first, and since I was holding them, the car and they pulled on their leashes, I fell onto the ground, and then her back tires rolled over my arm. Thank God. It was just my arm. My arm was okay. But immediately, when I got up, Lobo took off running. So I handed Snow to the first person I saw on the sidewalk. I was like, please hold my dog. Lobo took off running into oncoming traffic. I had to chase him, basically dodging cars. And he ran a good 4 blocks.
He was scared.
He was really scared. Yeah. Luckily, a few people stopped and helped me. And finally, we were able to corral him, and I got him back. And this lady drove me back to where Snow was. And I didn't even notice that my arm was all bloody and torn up until after I caught Lobo, just because I was so my adrenaline was pumping so hard from trying to make sure that he was okay and running after him, that I didn't even notice what the fuck happened to my arm. It was very traumatic. We had a hard time going on crosswalks for many months, but he is finally at a better place and we can go on crosswalks.
Another fun fact is, at the dog park, we typically carry a big ass water gun in case Okay, Snow, I pet you too.
Yeah, we carry a water gun because that's the only way that I can get him to not start fights. He can be a little bit of a dick. It's that Mars conjunct Uranus.
Okay, but we've had a lot of dates without incident.
Yes,
we took him to training, and now he doesn't really start fights at the dog park as much like he used to. Nowadays, like if we see him getting a little nervous, we'll just squirt the gun on him a little bit, and
then I'll tell him to shake, and then he'll shake, and then that disperses the energy, and he's good to go.
Yep.
So he is a good boy. He's been a much better boy, but he used to have a bit of a reputation.
Yeah, and now we're
a good boy. We're a good boy. Yes, we are.
So those are the pets.
Yep. No, Lobo.
If you're watching on YouTube, you get to see all their little antics.
Lobo
hasn't stopped pawing at me.
I know. These are our pets. Our whole world revolves around these pets.
It takes a lot to take care of them.
Anyways, thanks guys for tuning in. Someone had commented that they'd love to see, or one or two people had commented that they'd love to see an episode on just our floofers. So
this is for you too.
This is for you. Everyone else, I'm sorry
special.
if you didn't give a shit about our pets, but maybe you wondered about all the little floofers that you see pop in and out of the screen many times. Someone wants me to comment on YouTube that they're like, you really shouldn't let your cats on the countertops. That's really not sanitary. I'm sorry. They run the entire house. Like, how am I going to tell
them to this space? They might as well get access to all of it, you know?
Yeah, this is their home too, okay?
Oh.
We just clean the counters.
Yeah. Kashmir bites a lot of my plants.
Oh, yeah. Kashmir
has killed...
Well,
Kashmir and Lobo have killed a few plants.
Including Catnip the First and Catnip the Second.
Yeah. Those are the ones that they've killed. Kashmir annihilated Catnip the First. And then I bought Catnip the Second, which is a spider plant. And then Lobosito ruined him. Ripped him to shreds. Chip, 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 chip. I'm giving... Oh, Snowy. You get pets too, Mama. See? Snow's just burrowing her head on... my calf. Anyways, guys, thanks for tuning in. I hope you enjoyed this episode on the Floofies. Yeah. Enjoy your Sunday. Go get those fantasy drafts drafted or picked.